The parable of the mustard seed is found in three Gospels. Matthew's Gospel, chapter 13, verses 31 and 32. Another parable he offered them, saying, "The kingdom of heaven is like a grain of mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in his field, which, though smaller than all seeds, yet when it grows, is greater than all grains and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and take refuge in its branches." Gospel of Mark, chapter 4, verses 30, 31, 32. And he said, "To what shall we liken the kingdom of God? Or to what parable shall we liken it? It is like a grain of mustard seed, which, when it is sown in the ground, is the smallest of all the seeds of the earth. But when it is sown, it springs up and becomes larger than all the grains and puts forth great branches, so that the birds of the air may take refuge under its shadow." The Gospel of Luke, chapter 13, verses 18 and 19. And he said, "What is the kingdom of God like, and to what will I liken it? It is like a grain of mustard seed, which a man took and planted in his garden, and it grew and became a great tree, and the birds of the air took refuge in its branches." Explanation of the parable. The parable of the mustard seed reveals important aspects of spiritual life and the kingdom of God. Humble beginnings. The mustard seed is one of the smallest seeds, which symbolizes that spiritual growth begins small: faith, good deeds, and a change of heart. The huge result is that although the seed is small, it grows into a large plant. In the same way, faith, even weak in the beginning, can grow stronger and lead to great changes in the life of the individual and society. Spreading the kingdom of God. Like a tree that gives shade and protection, God's kingdom expands, attracting people from all over the world. Birds of heaven. This image can be interpreted as a symbol of people finding rest and comfort in God. Thus, Jesus shows through this parable that even seemingly insignificant things can become great if they are part of God's plan. Life application. The principles in the parable can be applied to everyday life. Personal growth. Any skill or talent takes time to develop. Small daily efforts can lead to significant accomplishments. Reading even one page a day can lead to reading dozens of books in a year. Regular exercise, even if starting with 5 minutes, can lead to noticeable physical changes in 6 months. Relationships, kind words, small acts of love and support can yield great rewards in the future. For example, one sincere compliment can be the beginning of a strong friendship or help a person cope with difficulties. Faith and spirituality. Even a little faith can lead to huge changes in one's life if one continues to trust God and follow a spiritual path. A single prayer can change a person's inner state, giving them strength and confidence. Community service. Any initiatives aimed at doing good, even if they seem insignificant, can eventually grow into large-scale movements. Volunteer work that started with one person can grow into an organization that helps thousands. Business and career development. Every successful entrepreneur has started small, whether it's an idea, a small workshop, or an online blog. Small steps lead to big accomplishments. Financial literacy. The ability to set aside small amounts of money and invest it over time brings tangible financial results. The parable of the mustard seed is referred to in various contexts in the modern world. Religious use. In Christian sermons and theological discussions, this parable is often used as an illustration of the power of faith, showing that even the smallest faith can lead to great accomplishments. Self-development and motivation. Personal growth coaches and trainers often use the parable of the mustard seed as a metaphor for gradual growth, achieving goals, and the importance of small steps. Business and entrepreneurship. In the startup community, this parable is cited as an example of how small ideas, even if seemingly insignificant at first, can grow into large companies and movements. Social change. Social activists and leaders use this parable to explain how small initiatives and individuals can, over time, impact entire communities and even countries. Psychology and science. The parable is examined from the perspective of cognitive psychology and neuroplasticity, emphasizing the importance of small lifestyle changes that lead to significant improvements over time. Popular culture. The ideas behind the parable can be found in literature, movies, and media. Many works show characters whose small acts eventually lead to global change. Education. In education, the parable is used to explain the importance of patience, constant self-development, and gradual accumulation of knowledge. Thus, the parable of the mustard seed remains relevant in our time, finding application in many spheres of life. Modern examples. Elon Musk started his first projects with minimal capital, working on software solutions and innovative ideas. His perseverance and willingness to take risks led to the creation of companies such as Tesla and SpaceX, which are changing the world today. Mother Teresa, her work began with helping one person dying on the streets. Over time, her mission grew into a massive charitable movement that has spanned multiple countries and changed the lives of millions of people. Social media and the information field, a single act of kindness, recorded on video and shared online, can inspire millions. For example, viral videos of people helping the homeless often trigger mass volunteer movements. Environmental initiatives, giving up plastic bags or participating in tree planting seems insignificant, but when these actions are taken by millions of people, it leads to large-scale environmental change, reducing pollution and restoring nature. Small businesses, many well-known companies like Apple, Amazon, and Microsoft started in garages with minimal resources. Their success was made possible through persistence, belief in an idea, and gradual development. Psychological parsing. From a psychological perspective, this parable reflects several important principles. The small step effect, gradual changes in behavior lead to greater gains in the long run. Self-efficacy, self-belief in one's own abilities, even when starting conditions seem insignificant. Positive reinforcement, when small efforts produce positive results, the person is motivated to continue. Patience and perseverance. Growth takes time, and the ability to wait for results is important for any progress. Cognitive development. The brain learns through repetition and gradual complication of tasks, so small steps lead to great progress. Thus, the parable of the mustard seed is not only a spiritual, but also a psychological reminder that any great endeavor starts small. Conclusion. The parable of the mustard seed reminds us that every great endeavor begins small. Small acts, steps, and efforts can lead to significant change. This parable is a call to not be afraid to start from scratch, to not be afraid to try, even if success seems impossible at first. Life is full of examples of how small things become great. Everyone, even those without outstanding abilities, can achieve great heights if they show patience, diligence, and faith. The main thing is not to be afraid to take the first step and not to stop halfway. It is also important to realize that our support to others, even a small one, can make a huge difference in their lives. A small act of kindness can change a person's destiny. Just as a mustard seed grows into a large tree, our actions, words, and intentions can bear great fruit. The world changes through small acts, which, when accumulated, form a new society, more conscious and kinder. Each of us can be the beginning of something great. The main thing is not to be afraid to sow the seeds of goodness, knowledge, faith, and love. Thus, this parable is a reminder of the power of small things. Faith, patience, and persistence can turn any endeavor into something grand. May this wisdom be an inspiration to everyone who seeks change and believes in the power of small steps.